everybody. Hopefully, yeah, I think I've got my mic on this time. Um, Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another one of my Stitch and Bitch streams. Sorry for being a little bit delayed. I've just eaten dinner and then I just realised what the time was, and I was just like, man, I'm not even set up yet. So hopefully, it's all going out. It says it's sending data. It should be okay. I'm just gonna have a quick drink of water. Sorry, I've had a really dry throat today. I was like coughing so much at work this morning when I was answering the phones. It was just ridiculous. I kept having to put people on hold. I'm just gonna quickly have a bit of a drink. Bear with me. Okay. Right. So there is going to be no moaning today about my knitting needles, because when did I do it? Saturday or Sunday? I think it was Sunday actually, because I was watching a Stitch and Bitch stream myself on Sunday, and I changed over to my circular needles. So I'm not going to be moaning about my knitting needles this evening, because I'm pretty happy because I've changed them over and they're not going to annoy me. They're not going to hit my wrists, which is brilliant, and it means I can spread the knitting out a little bit. So I hope everyone is having a good day. What have you guys been up to? And if you're from the reselling channel, sorry, my phone's just, I'm going to turn it that way because it's going to distract me. How are your sales been? I'm going to move the camera down just because I want to get on and knit straight away. I haven't actually got my book, which is going to be a bit of a problem. Okay, I am going to use my little notepad and I'll add it onto my book later. I've left it downstairs because I was knitting, I was finishing off my mittens things last night. Okay, I'm just going to use a Sharpie. I don't expect to kind of get very far with the hem anyway, so it's just more so that I can mark off how much, so that I can kind of get them even when I start on the front. So I'm going to move my camera down now, and bear with me while it goes all lopsided and I get it back to where it should be. Sorry about the thumb on my... See, that's not right. There we go. And I'm really sorry, but Alf, I don't know why he's barking. He is downstairs with Zahir, but he's decided that now is the time, when I start streaming live, that we need to start barking, which is just rubbish. Bear with me. Okay. Right, I am gonna have to move over to, because I can see Twitch over there. I'm gonna have to move my chat because I can see that people have come into the chat, but I can't see it on my restream. So bear with me while I just sort my windows out so I can actually see what you're talking about. So good evening to Pleasant Valley Picker. First in, hello. Tell Z to be careful with that beam at the office. Sure is low, almost hits his head. Yeah, we're going to actually change desks. I think we discussed it today, and it's probably better if I sit on that side rather than he sits on that side, because there's going to be no chance of me banging my head on that beam. It's 11:30 here in Canada, just having lunchtime cup of tea. Oh, that sounds nice. Hi Becks, can't be on too long. Dinner is nearly done. Oh, that's cool. Thank you for popping in, Karen. Looks and sounds good, Beck. Oh, that's good. Well, at least I started the stream with actually my headphone on this stream. It's one of those where I always forget to put the mute on, and even as I actually went live, I actually had to turn it on because I was just like, oh, I've done it again, haven't I? But I said last time I was going to leave it on, like the mic, but I didn't. It's just habit. Karen says, not a lot. Run a toddler group on a Tuesday morning, then went to parents consultation for the kids. Oh, okay. I have an offer on an item. That's not bad. I think I'll accept it. Yeah, I accepted an offer. Yeah, earlier. On a little unbranded cardigan. It's a good material, but I don't know the brand because they cut out the brand label. I've got no idea what the brand is. So I accepted an offer on it today. I'm happy to see it go, to be quite honest. I've had it for like nearly a year. So pretty happy to see it go. Alf needs attention. Yeah, he does. He really does. He's actually getting on okay. We were quite surprised because he's always had someone in the house. So we were really surprised that he's actually been okay. He's not destroying the place. Um, the girls are coming in at about 3:20, I think it is. So they're letting him out in the garden straight away, just in case he needs to do anything. So he's actually being really good. And even when we come in, he is not. He doesn't seem stressed. He seems really excited to see us, and he settles down really, really quickly. So um, he's actually getting on really well. Karen says sales are good at the moment. You both seem so happy with the new office space. I'm so happy for you both. I have looked at offices, but at least double what you were paying. Yeah, I think it's out the area we live in, Karen. I mean, if we were, I mean, there were other places that we had looked at, and I think I said it in the last stream. We actually looked at a retail place as well, so to actually have like a shop front. But we decided against that one, and that one was actually quite expensive. But then it was on a good high street as well. So, yeah, if we were back in the south, I think we'd be paying a lot more for the type of space that we have. Um, I don't think I know because there's a lot of businesses down there, so there's a big demand for it down south, just as up here as well. But it's yeah, it's a good price. We're happy with it, really happy. It was the first day I actually worked there today, like this afternoon, and I managed to get about. There was already about 9 drafts on the computer. I ended up on about 55 drafts on the RC store. So I was really, really pleased with how it just changed the afternoon. Because now I know he's like Zahir doesn't really have to worry too much about the RC store for the next couple of days, really, apart from taking some photos of what I've drafted. So, and I know he'll get onto that. It's a drawing board. New ones go for like 100 or more. Used to go for a fair bit less. The buyer offered about double. Others are getting. Oh, that's cool. That's always nice. £400 seems very reasonable. Yeah, considering everything's included, as in like, you know, the electricity and internet and everything like that. It's a really good price. So that's it. I need to convince Carl to move to the northeast. I know, I know. I mean, yeah, it's definitely a lot cheaper up here, especially when it comes to properties and stuff. No distractions at the office other than Z. Yeah, he actually kept out of my way. He was doing his own thing, and I was doing my own thing, and we kind of come to the realization that we probably need to get 2 computers in there pretty quickly. We've got one in there at the moment, but it just means we can just double up on what we're doing. So if I'm drafting the listings on the on like the main store, I'm still in the habit of calling it the main store. On the RC store, that he would be able to, dip into the second store and list on there, because we are trying to keep the activity on both like really, really quite even. We don't want it to just be one that gets the main attention. So, yeah, it's working out really well though. I mean, Zahir pays more attention to this to like the general store now. See, I was going to call it the second store. Such a bad habit. We even keep telling each other off for it as well. So we actually call the stores two different things now. So we call, like, what used to be called the main store is like the hobby RC store, and then what we call the second store is now the general store. So, and it's just really, really, we're really trying to, like, keep on top of that and give each other little reminders. And, even down to, saying, oh, it's your store, it's my store. Because we used to be quite competitive about it, and now we are really having to work together and, you know, both, treat both stores equally. No favoritism. Um, Not many of us chat addicts here today. Come on, folks, keep Becks company. It doesn't matter. We can still have a good little chat. Thanks to hear. I really could though. I do talk quite a lot. I don't think many people know that though. I can come across as quite quiet and shy, but once you get to know me, I really don't shut up. Um, Not very often anyway. Um, and people think Zahir like can talk like loads. He talks loads, absolutely, but not nearly not nearly as much as me, I don't think. Um, it just, what, I'm one of those that I have to feel really comfortable before I really, really get chatting. I really do have to feel really comfortable. Um, Karen says, can get cheap refurbished one on eBay for about 50 to £60. I always buy from the same shop and it lasts me a couple of years. It's not gaming, but it's good enough for eBay. Oh yeah, um, yeah. Zahir picked up a really nice. Yeah, Zahir picked up a nice little PC at the weekend. It didn't pay much for it, but we are going to sell the monitor. I think he wants to make a video about that actually. He keeps saying he's going to. Um, Beckensey's general store. Why do you see guys dressed as farmers see with pitchfork? Oh dear. Um, Sorry, I'm just drinking peppermint tea. While it's still hot. I like it when it's hot. Um, you're not saying Brexit. Yeah, I do. Honestly, I talk loads. I talk so much. Even to the even to the point I think Zahir actually zones me out sometimes in the evenings. Um, I really think he does. Uh, so I've got to do this hem for about 2 inches, I think, and I'm really liking this colouring already. Look at that. Actually, I should put my light on. I forgot to put my light on. This worked okay the other day, but when it goes back on my face, I have to remember to turn it off because it actually it it's it lights up the. There you go. Yeah, you can see the colours. It's like this multicoloured, and it seems to be coming out in like quite a nice little pattern across the little thing. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with that. Sorry, Marcella, I'm having to look at two screens because I can't see the chat in Restream, so I'm really sorry if I haven't caught your message until now. So thank you for popping into the Twitch stream. So, is your new office pet friendly? Can you take Alf with you if he misses you? I wouldn't want to take Alf into the office. I'm not 100% sure it's pet friendly. I wouldn't want to take him in there. There's like total of 5 offices there, so I really wouldn't be keen on doing that because of the other people within the building and the businesses they're running, and it just might not be appropriate. So, they get people coming in and out of the office as well to go and see them. So I wouldn't feel right about it, having Alf wandering around. I know he'd be mainly in our office, but still, you can still see him, and he can be a little bit of a pain, if I'm honest. he's he's not like a pain. He's just he is not. I don't know what the word is for him really. He really likes. This is why I was a little bit concerned about him, because he really likes being around people. And I was worried about leaving him for a long amount of time, to the point where I even said, Zahir, you might have to pop in at lunchtime just to see him. And Zahir hasn't had to do that so far because he hasn't seemed distressed in any way. So when we've left him, I mean, he's used to us, popping in and out of the house like all day anyway. It's just that it's a lot longer that he's getting left. So, but he's probably just fine. Z, have you tested the slot car racing set yet? I don't know whether he has. I'm sure he will answer that. Pleasant Valley. Yeah, I know. He did do a really good job of finding that computer. Really did. It's okay. I should chat over here. Oh, Marcella. I know. Do you know what? It's normally I can see both chats at the same time, and because Twitch is displaying over here, and then I've got YouTube displaying over here. Mainly because Restream is not working for me this evening for whatever reason. It wasn't coming through. It looks like it's coming through now, actually. Yeah, it looks like it's coming through. Maybe it was just being really slow. But it's done this to me before, so I thought, okay, I'm gonna have to just have them open separately, just so that I can see people. Yeah, see, that's what I was suggesting to Zahir about if it was an issue, that if he could pop down at lunchtime. The office is so close to home, so and Zahir has to go kind of past our home anyway to do the post office run, so he could even work it into his day like that if he needed to. But I don't think it's going to be a massive problem. I think Alfie's coping really, really well. He really doesn't seem stressed out by it. Do you know what other businesses are there? I believe they're both well, I think two of them in there are recruitment, so they're actually using the offices for recruiting. I don't know what sort of recruiting they do, but we haven't really had, well, I haven't really gotten into conversation with any of them. Zahir's probably spoken to them more than I have. Only saw the lady come downstairs today just to let us know that she was going. And we were the last ones in the building, so we had to set the alarm before going. So, Alf might rip off someone's leg. Yeah, he's not. He's not like that. But I wouldn't want someone to come in there. I mean, there are people that do have a fear of dogs, and I think it's really, really important, kind of, just because you're a dog person doesn't mean every person is a dog person. And there's people with allergies as well, so, you got to think about that. You got to think about the other people that are using the building as well. So, news here, Carl has broken me after holiday. We are looking at getting a dog. He wants a British bulldog. I'm going to call it Princess or something very feminine, regardless of gender. Oh, that's awesome, Karen. Oh, yeah, could you imagine? Oh, that's really cool. That is really cool. Have you had dogs before, Karen? I mean, I used to have dogs as a child growing up, and Zahir never really. I don't think he's ever really had pets. And so, when we first met, I was like, I really, really wanted to have cats. Absolutely. I didn't have the time to really have a dog at that point because I knew they were a lot of hard work. And then the last few years, I just kept bugging Zahir. I was just like, I really want to get a dog. I really want to get a dog. And every time we were out walking and I saw dogs, I was like, oh, I really want to get a dog. And then we eventually got Alfie. So I kind of probably broke him a little bit. um, I'll probably just put on the telly and watch the afternoon soaps. Yeah, he probably does. He probably does. I mean, I, when the conservatory is cleaned up a bit, because it's still a complete mess. You've got to bear in mind we've just moved all the stock out, so I haven't had a chance to like really fix what it looks like at the moment. Um, so we've just kind of shut the door on it. There's a lot of sorting out to do, and a lot of mess in there at the minute. And I was thinking about putting Alf out there so that it was away from the front window because we get the postman coming and stuff like that, and I didn't want him to get too upset because he doesn't like anyone walking past the house, let alone coming to the door. So so I was thinking about putting him out there, but then I'm concerned about summer really with that. But yeah, I think he's okay. I think I need to get a dog cam. He probably just sleeps all day. He probably does. I think I I was watching someone on YouTube and they actually recorded. They put a GoPro. I think it was a GoPro on their dog for when they went out, and it only seemed like a little trip out. It didn't seem like it was loads of footage because they didn't have to fast forward it too much. So I think it was just like a quick trip out, and the dog was just walking around the house, drinking out of the toilet. He was eating off of food that had been left on a plate, and then eventually he just went to sleep. So yeah, I reckon he's probably just chilling. Really, he's just chilling. Pleasant Valley Picker says, I am a bit nervous around dogs. Got bit as a child. Yeah, see, there's a lot of people that do have that fear around dogs, really. I think as owners, you really do have to be aware of that. I've seen people cross over to the other side of the road when I've walked out. Uh, not because he's like a big scary dog, but people, they might not trust the dog and they get a bit nervous. So yes, before the kids we had a that Lakeland Terrier we got from Battersea. We both had dogs as kids. Apparently there is a dog group that runs a bit like toddler group near me. Epic. Oh, that sounds really awesome. Um, where we live, there are a lot of dog owners, and they've most people we meet are very, very chatty. Particularly in the summer when you've got, in the winter no one wants to stop and chat. You say good morning and, good evening and things like that. But there's a place that we go which is quite local. We call it the Green. And yeah, in the summer it's like really, really awesome. So here doesn't always like getting involved in conversations, but you know, you have to be a bit chatty and friendly. Or maybe that's just me again, wanting to talk a lot. It could be that. Maybe it's because he doesn't like me getting chatty. I'll stand and chat for like ages. But it's quite funny because you get talking to some really, really cool, interesting people. So that's why I like it. Um, it was my fault though. Was my first dog, a beautiful tan-coloured greyhound, was playing too rough and gave me a little nip. Then he looked remorseful, like sorry kid. Oh, yeah. No, they do. They do get like that. If they know they've done wrong, they do. I mean, sounds really bad, but we left some things like some think it was some sweets on the table, and Alf got them. And then Zahir went over to him and said, "Did you do this?" And he was like being really stern with him. And Alf looked so guilty, and he would not even look at the wrapper. He was just like, "No, no, I didn't." It looked so guilty, but yeah. We are lucky. We have where we live lots of walking spots and greenery around here. Though apparently British bulldogs are lazy dogs. Yeah, they're quite chunky dogs, aren't they? British bulldogs, and I can't imagine they walk too much. Um, because they've got quite short legs. I mean, they're kind of like Alf. Alf's got short legs, and although his body looks quite stocky, his legs are very short for his body. So running, um, is like, yeah, he doesn't really run much. Walking, yeah, just about. As long as it's not too long as well. Like he gets tired quickly. Um, Marcella says that maybe his daily joy is barking at the postman. You can't block his daily view and deny him his little pictures. That's true, actually. Yeah, no, yeah, that's true. At the moment, I think we're okay to leave him where he is. I don't know. I'm kind of tempted, um, to to like record his day, of what he gets up to, um, because I'm sure there is a way that we could do it, through the webcam. But yeah, I'm like, I don't. I do want to see it, but I kind of don't, just in case he is getting upset. But then I suppose if he is getting upset, it's better to know. Um, yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what he gets up to. Um, Pleasant Valley says I was like 5. Oh, I know. I'm like that. The poor people in jumble sales lines must get bored of me chewing the air of charity shop workers or post office staff. The thing is, when I worked at the news agents, right, part time, that was probably like the best job for me because I just got to talk to a lot of the locals. And people used to come in just to have a chat. And I one of the customers that used to come in, I saw him the other day, and I stopped on the high street to say hello to him, and he was like, "Oh, it's not the same anymore." He goes, "No one's talking." He's like, "No one's talking to me," so I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah, maybe I do talk a little bit too much." Um, uh, oh, Death by Glamour's popped in. Good evening. Thank you for popping in. Was listening, but I've given up because my 1 year bit a chunk out of my leg. Oh no. That's not good, is it? That's one way to get your attention, isn't it? Stop listening. I'm gonna bite you. The thing is, you can never know that where a dog can be vicious. I was shopping at a supermarket recently, got out of the car, and the dog just lunged at the window of the car next to me. Yeah, absolutely. You really do have to be careful, especially with strange dogs. I mean, even when we first got Alf, I was not sure, about him because he had we had been told that he could get a bit nippy. So he was like, because he was advertised that he was going to be okay with older kids, but it wasn't recommended for him to be with younger kids. And I was like, right, okay, that's fine. Both of ours are older. We gave the girls a talk, no, like, pulling things off of him, and if you're playing with him, try and keep your faces away from him, just in case he jumps up and bites, or whatever. We gave him the full warning, but you really do have to be careful with dogs. I mean, especially when you don't know their background. And we didn't know much of Alf's background other than he was with a family with young kids and they had to rehome him, and that was it. Um, so, and I was very, very, not like, I suppose not concerned, but I suppose a bit wary of him at first, just to, you know, I was bringing this dog into the house with my two children, and although my children are big, I still don't want them to get hurt. So I was very careful with him at first, and to the point where I wouldn't even leave him at home with him on their own. I wouldn't do it. He'd have to be. I used a cage initially, like, so if we had to pop out even for 5 or 10 minutes, he used to go into his cage if the girls were home, um, just so that I knew that nothing was going to happen when I was out. Um, yeah, the dog has literally thrown itself into the glass of the window. If the window hasn't been shut, I'm sure it would have attacked me. Yeah, that is quite scary actually. But I think I don't know. Yeah, that is scary. Oh, you go back to it when back to listing when she's in bed. Yeah, they are. Young children are very very demanding. I don't know how you guys do it. Like trying to run eBay and have a young family. That's a that's a that's a real struggle. Um, right, best go and dish up dinner. Catch later. Karen, thanks for popping in. you can't, you can't go around filming your dog without consent. Give the boy some privacy if he needs to groom it. Oh dear. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Although he doesn't seem to care. He just sits there in the middle of the living room sometimes and does that, Marcella. So I'm not I'm not sure he's that bothered. uh, Ryan. Oh, well, thank you for popping in, Ryan. Um, so and that's how I feel with Z. Never know when he's going to bite me. Oh no. And thank you for Miss. Is it Mistress Dana over on Twitch? Thank you for popping into the Twitch. I don't know if you're still there, but thank you for popping in anyway. I've only just seen your chat on my screen. My restream chat doesn't seem to be working, so I'm having to have both chats open because I'm streaming on YouTube as well. Um, so if you are, thank you for joining me. Um, Yeah, yeah. The dogs do get stressed, and the thing is, when they get stressed, they are likely to kind of act out. They're not. They're not. Um, you know. I mean, you can get really, really timid dogs, I suppose, but I think a lot of the time, if they are distressed, they are gonna. Well, they're gonna feel like they need to protect themselves. So and most of the time, they will kind of snap. I mean, most dogs will give you some sort of warning by either just how their body looks, like if they're kind of like, because they stiffen up, don't they? If they're anxious, they stiffen up their bodies, and if they've got a tail, they stop wagging their tail and things like that. And then obviously they can sometimes growl, although Alf doesn't tend to growl much. So we do have to kind of be careful and look more at his body. So if he doesn't like being in a situation, we have to look at like the things like, does he look tense in his body? And although he doesn't have much of a tail because he's got more of a stump, you can tell when he's happy because he wags his butt like anything. Um, so the cage wasn't for Zahir. No, it definitely the cage was definitely not for Zahir. I mean we still use the cage, but more from the point of view that it just has his bed in it, and so he can kind of get in and out of it. It's his little place that it's just his. So if he goes in it, you know, don't disturb him. We just leave him to it. Our evening, Margaret Stewart. Thank you for joining me this evening. So Marcelo is saying, okay, so maybe Alf is a little bit freaky. I can't read the rest of that. Oh dear. Yeah, if that's what he does out on the ocean, exactly. He doesn't seem to mind, even if the family's there. He's like, yeah, I'm just doing this. Um. Oh yeah, that's really scary. I hate walking past dogs in cars because you don't know their reaction. There used to be one that a car that used to park on our road. It was just visiting someone, and it always had the dog there. And I think it was more because we were walking past with Alf that the dog kind of just flew out the window. But it really can be quite scary. Um, I mean, they left the window open in the car, but like only a little bit, so the dog was getting some air. But yeah, it is scary when you've got this dog kind of going out a window. So we are doing. I think we're doing okay actually. I'm pretty happy with like how it's coming along, but I might end up knitting some of this off stream. Although I am still on the rib, which is it's just a little bit more, you know, going backwards and forwards. So it's like changing like the stitch each stitch, as it were. Um, so that is a bit annoying. Yeah, I think that's a good thing to do. When walking by open cars and trucks in parking lots, yeah. So, I've actually not done too bad with my peppermint tea this evening. I've actually kept drinking it. Yeah, jumper is progressing. It's actually, I did a few, I did a few rows on, I think it was Sunday when I was changing over the needles. Because one thing I would say is I really love how this wall actually feels, and it is very very colourful. I can't wait until I've got all of the back kind of there, because this is the back, and then you kind of go onto the front. The front has got like a little, it's got like two panels down the front of it, so so that's going to be pretty cool to get to those panels. I'm quite looking forward to seeing those go on. But yeah, it's coming along nicely. I want to just keep knitting it though. This is a thing, I really do. And I get like this. And Zahir said to me, he was like saying to me the other night, he was like, "You've really got a buzz for knitting at the moment." I was like, "Yeah." I said, I want to do it. Like I knit every night at the moment. I mean, the fingerless gloves are probably going to finish tonight. Once I get off stream. I'm probably going to go down and finish those because I've only got a few more rows on those. They're like just quick knits, really. They really are. It doesn't take too long to do those, so that's pretty cool. So the peppermint tea is tasting better. No, Pleasant Valley Picker. I actually went and bought the other stuff because I've still got the other stuff in the cupboard. It's just not good as the because I bought Well, they're both from Aldi, but one was it cost like £1.69, and then the other one was like 70p, um, and there's a big difference. Um, and I just went back to the old one, so I was just like, no, I mean, it tastes okay, but it's just, it doesn't taste okay. Actually, it really doesn't. Um, it smells like it should taste okay, but then it doesn't taste good. It just tastes too weak. Whereas this one, but then I do. But then again, I leave the tea bag in the other one, so I drink my peppermint tea and I still have the tea bag in it. Um, but like the other one, I was leaving the tea bag in as well, and it just wasn't the same. It really just did not taste the same. So yeah, so I went back to the other stuff that I like. Um, I remember my mum knitting me an Icelandic type jumper with those needles. Love that jumper. Yeah, I remember when my mum knitted me a jumper. I absolutely loved it. I was only, how old was I when she knitted me my jumper? I think about 10 or 11. And I just loved it so much. I remember her picking out the wool, because she took me with her, and she was like, "What colour do you want?" And I went for like this grey white kind of. Yeah, I just liked grey, so this kind of grey white flecked wool, and that's what I chose. And when she finished it, I just used to just wear it. I wore it to death. I think I really did. But yeah, I loved it when my mum knitted jumpers for me when I was young. I wonder how long it will take to complete. I think it's going to take. If I knit some off stream, it's not going to take me that long, because I'm only doing these knitting streams like for an hour, well, 2 hours a week. So it needs me to put a lot more hours into it. So I'm probably going to knit some off stream, but I'm going to try and keep the majority of it to the stream, or maybe just knit on longer streams. But then that's kind of quite difficult for me to kind of commit to at the moment, particularly during the week. I can't do it during the week. I might be able to think about doing it at the weekend, but I have to see. Who is the jumper for? Jumper equals sweater. I well, I don't know really. It might actually fit one of my children, because I'm not sure it would actually fit me. Just going on the fact that it's going to come up, I think, quite small. So I reckon one of the kids are going to fit into it. So I don't know whether they will want to wear something this bold. My youngest might, because it's got a lot of pink and purple in it, and those are like some of her favourite colours, so she might want to wear it. If not, not sure. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. But it's not for anyone in particular. My mum used to knit. Remember her knitting when I was young. She knitted into her old age, then stopped as she had some bad arthritis in her fingers. Yeah, my nan, she had to give up knitting. I think it was in her 60s. I think she got to her 60s, and she had to give up because of arthritis in her fingers and hands, and she gave some of her. Well, she kind of any of the like children, like her children, she kind of let them kind of split her knitting bits and pieces. So she allowed them to have like some of her old patterns and any knitting needles that they needed or wanted or whatever, which is quite nice. My mum ended up with a few patterns and a few extra knitting needles and things like that when my nan gave up knitting because she had to, which is a shame. I was saying to Zahir the other day, because I've started I had like a pins and needles in the tops of one of my little finger, and I actually started getting really concerned, because I was like, maybe it's because I've been knitting so much and maybe I've just put a strain on my hand, and then it went into one of my other fingers, and then I was just like, oh great, I'm gonna have to get this checked out. But it's actually gone away now, so I think it was actually just it was probably just like a strain on my fingers, or Zahir kept saying to me maybe it's just a trapped nerve, and I was like, yeah, it could be. But it's stopped now. But I was getting concerned because I was like, I really don't want to give up knitting. It's one of those things that I really do enjoy and I find relaxing. And I would hate the thought of having to give it up. Really, really would. Um, Only so many hours in a week. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Would love to see Z in it. Yeah, I just don't think it's going to fit Z. I really don't. And I'm not sure he would actually like the colours. Even though, right, he actually chose this, I don't think he would actually wear this himself. I think it's quite nice. She knitted some great things. Have a box full of sweaters in the closet. Oh, that's really nice. I like that. Sorry, you can probably all hear me like drinking my tea. I'm sorry. I normally turn my mic off um, when I do that. So here says he likes the colour, it just would not fit. I can't see you fitting into this. It is, even like I said, I think this is actually going to come up quite small. I don't know, because this is like the rib bit, so it will stretch out. You see when you put it on. So we'll see. We'll see. Can we see the pattern picture again? Yeah, of course you can. I got the pattern right next to me. So that is the. Would it be better if I turn off the light for a second? There we go. That is the pattern. So it can be like a 3/4 length sleeve, or it can be like the short sleeve. I wanted to do this short sleeved, and you can see like the panel goes down the side on both sides. So I'm kind of quite looking forward to seeing what that comes out like. Because I like that sort of thing when you put in a pattern and you want to see it. But yeah, that's the actual pattern. You should do some tutorials on knitting for some of the stitches to use. Yeah, I do plan to actually at some point when I get a chance to sit down and record them. I have already kind of started to come up with a plan as to what sort of thing I want to do. But yeah, I will be doing it at some point. I've just got to. That's why I'm hoping for some time over the weekends. Like, so if I can kind of get my weekdays and my weekend to be a bit more free, I'm hoping to spend a bit of time over the weekends to actually record some knitting videos, because knitting videos they do take a bit of time from just like the planning aspect and things like that. So I do want to do some like tutorials of some stitches, and even just like basic how to cast on, how to cast off, like the names of the different stitches and the different patterns that you can do. So I do want to do that as soon as I get some time. You still have many years of knitting ahead of you, young lady. I hope so. But you know what? It'll be a very, very sad day when I do have to give it up. If I ever have to give it up, because it is one of those things that I really, really do just enjoy doing so much. Yeah, it's what I do to relax. Too bad there were no knitting emojis. Oh yeah, I know. It's sad, isn't it? Why do they not do knitting emojis? I mean, on my phone, you can do like I think it's just like a ball of wool. I think is the only emoji I've got on my phone. I'm not sure actually. I don't think there's any more than that. But yeah, there should be some more knitting emojis out there. Definitely. It'll be quite awesome in the chat, wouldn't it? Z going to fortnight later. I don't know. I haven't really. Sounds bad. I spent all day at the office with him. Haven't really spoken to him today, even though we were in the same room. Yeah, I don't know whether he will. I think he's still trying to come up with like a good time to actually stream, and he's refusing to use my webcam, which I find is just really, really odd. I'm just like, I think that's really odd. I know my webcam's not the greatest, I really do. I know it needs upgrading, absolutely, but you know, it's a webcam, and he could actually plug it into his computer downstairs, and he could actually stream and still have his have a webcam on, and he doesn't. He chooses not to, which I'm not sure he's too upset about it, to be quite honest. Otherwise, I think he would use my webcam, but I don't know whether he will be on. I think he's still trying to get a good time to stream. That doesn't mean that he ends up. Sorry. Doesn't mean that he ends up. What do you call it? Staying up too late. My mind just went completely blank. Oh my goodness, that is awful. Yeah, so he doesn't end up staying up too late, because we do get up pretty early. Well, pretty early for us anyway. We're normally up by about 6:15 in the morning to start our day. So, and that's, without fail, and it's only going to get worse at the weekends when we start really seriously car booting and stuff. So there is no such thing as a lie-in in this house sometimes. So so, and when he streams quite late, it does affect his sleep, and then trying to get up the next day, especially now with the office and having to be at a place of work now, he will struggle with staying up late and doing that. So I think the last couple of nights he's only been on for like an hour. I don't think he's been more than an hour. I'm not sure about the other night, actually. He might have gone on for a little bit more than an hour. But yeah, he's been trying to stick to a strict bedtime, really, which is fair enough. You looked for emojis, looked, no knitting needles or balls of wool. Yeah, I know, it's awful. By the time you have to give it up, you'll probably have access to robots that can knit, that you can control. Yeah, that's true. And there are knitting machines as well. Like you can get, I mean, I know some of them that are kind of, I think it's seen as quite an old thing, but when I picked one up for the car boot last year, I really enjoyed trying to get that to work. And I said to Zahira at some point, I was like, I haven't got the space for it now, but it's definitely something I'd love to kind of have in the house and learn how to knit on a knitting machine, because that would be pretty cool. His 1 hour stream is about right. Yeah, I think so. He's and he stays, well, I think he stays quite positive within the stream. I haven't really caught him live recently, so just from what I can hear when he is streaming, I think he's remaining quite positive. And oh, good evening, Claire. Thanks for popping in. Hi, all, lovely colours there, Beck. What you're making? So this is following a vintage knitting pattern. It is. Let me just mark this row down so I know what I've done. It is for this one here. I think that's gonna, yeah, it's that one there. That is what I'm knitting. It's going to be like the short sleeved version of the top. I've got a few vintage patterns that I want to try out. So I thought I'd start with this one because this one looks fun. And Zahir chose the colour of the wall. So yeah. What's wrong with your webcam? I know. That's what I said to him. It's because it's quite old. Um, and what happened, it was he upgraded his webcam, and then when I got a computer I ended up saying, well, I may as well have your webcam, like your old webcam that you have. And he was like, yeah, okay. And so I think it's, for him, it's like taking a step backwards, so that's why it's like, no, I'm not going to have, he won't kind of even entertain using the webcam. No free time at the Malex. Yeah, we are a bit pushed for time sometimes, but we do, like I said, we are trying to protect our weekends a bit, just so that we have time to chill out with the girls and have some family time and stuff like that. Obviously around doing the boot sales, but yeah, our weekends we are quite kind of a bit protective of, I suppose. Oh, good choice. Oh, thank you, Claire. But yeah, no, yeah, Zahir chose the wall. It's a really nice bright colour. I'm really liking how it's actually turning out, like colour wise. It's kind of like a real multicoloured little yeah, it looks really good. I'm selling an amazing vintage Disney knitting pattern book. The pictures are so amazingly 80s. I love looking at old vintage patterns. I actually picked one up at the car boot this weekend. So he was like, he goes, I can't believe you just bought another one. I was like, yeah, but I really love them. And it's got such cool. This pattern book was from 1979. And there's just some really awesome patterns in it. I might have to show it on stream one week. It's downstairs, so otherwise I would go down and get it. But yeah, I absolutely love it. I love vintage patterns. They're really awesome. I bet you're glad to get your house back after moving all the stock out of the office. Yeah, absolutely. I am really, really happy to have the house back. It's not fully back yet because we've still got the conservatory to sort out. There's still bits of furniture, and because we had some kind of stands where we used to keep stock on. If you remember from like some of the old chinwags where we were actually in the conservatory, like there was that black stand that was behind us. We still got that in there, which I said to Zahir, I want to move to the shed and then we can use it in the shed. And then there's a white cabinet in one of the corners which isn't going to be useful for what we want to do with the room, so I might have that up here for my knitting bits and pieces, because my collection of knitting needles, and I've got wool and things like that, it's all over the house, so I wouldn't mind it being in one place, because although I've got like a little stand in the corner behind me that way, it needs I think I need some more space in there because all of the drawers are actually full, whereas the stand that Zahir used to use for like all his packaging and things like that, like to store his packaging stuff, he doesn't really need it down there anymore. So he did ask me, it was like, oh, when I clear it out, because there's, you know, he used to store all kinds of stuff, so it really does need to, I mean, most of it's empty, but there's a few bits and pieces where he's just, tidying up and just stuck anything in the drawer, and so he's only taken up to the office what was really necessary to take. So we need to kind of go through some of the drawers in there and just see what's in there. Does he need it? If he doesn't, then we can get rid of it and move the little stand up here, hopefully, so that I've got a little bit more space for my knitting stuff. weekend evenings should give time now that the stock is out of the house. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I mean, it's only the first week of having the office, so we are gonna have like teething problems with things that, because I said to him, like, some stuff we're gonna realise that we've taken to the office and not got here, and then other things is going to be at the office and think, oh no, I've left that at home. So until we kind of come across all of those sort of things, then we are going to have teething problems with it. But overall, I'm liking what it does for us, hours wise. Like evenings, we are actually getting evenings to ourselves. Like, it's not a case of he's sitting there going, oh, let me just do this, or that. you know he can't really get on with packaging, because unless he goes up to the office. So it's kind of given us a bit of a structure, I suppose. He knows the hours of work. I mean, the other evening he did pop back up. I can't remember whether it was Sunday evening or was it last night. No, actually it was last night, wasn't it? Because I think he did a video. He popped into the office for something and ended up doing a video. And that's going to be up to him if he stays at the office late one night. But like today, because I was at the office with him, and he said to me, what time do you want to finish here? And I was like, well, I want to be finished by about 5, half 5, because I've got to get home. We've got to do the girls some dinner, I've got to walk out and things like that. And then obviously I've got the stream tonight, so I was like, I don't want to be too delayed here. We actually got out of the office at about 10 past 5 this evening, which was pretty cool. Janet says, I caught you live. Hang on, I'll just get my knitting. Oh, thanks for joining us, Janet. I am going to be finishing as soon as I probably finish my row. So yeah, I know you've caught me. Caught me right at the end. But thank you for joining me. Decades used to have such unique looks. What is the look of the 2010s? Oh dear. I think Claire has responded to you, Pleasant Valley. My mum's dad often wore a hat. Almost never see that anymore, except caps. Yeah. Not many people. Not many people do that anymore. Wear hats. Well, they wear caps, yeah, but not like a proper hat. Oh, watch on replay. I know. It's because I only do an hour, and then I'm off. But I've really I've got to get an early night tonight, because I've got to be at work like mega early tomorrow. So yeah. So I'm gonna have to get off stream in a moment. Otherwise, I probably would carry on for a bit, because I'm actually really enjoying how much progress I've actually made. This is actually my 6th row on stream this evening, so that's going pretty well. I like that. I'm always happy when I feel like I've actually gotten somewhere. But yeah. Pleasant Valley says it will take a few weeks to figure it out. Big change. Yeah, it is a big change. We're really happy, but again, it's getting that routine, like getting the schedule down. I mean, he's working around my hours at the moment that I do at the doctor's surgery, because he does come and pick me up. We're hoping that won't be an issue for too much longer, but then I don't drive myself at the minute. I still like so not confident, and I went out, was it last week Monday, for a little drive, and I only stayed in the car for like 2 or 3 minutes, because that's all I could handle, because I was getting so stressed. So yes, look after yourself. Wool is looking lovely. Yeah, I'm really loving the colours on it. Really love the way it's coming through. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Um, I've kept reselling old sewing boxes. I always dump out the contents to sell the boxes off plain. And now I have lots of old knitting needles and hooks. Where would you look to see value of tools? Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure whether they hold much value, like the knitting needles and hooks and stuff like that. It depends on how old they are, though. So it might be worth just having a little bit of a research, because I mean, I've never looked into it, but when because I've got a thing for buttons, so I collect buttons, and I've got loads and loads of buttons. I think I've mentioned it before, but in one of the lots of buttons there was some old like crochet kind of hooks and stuff like that. I never got around to researching it, but it might be worth looking into, but I really don't know. I don't know what sort of value they hold, or if they hold any value. Depends on the branded stuff though, because there were some knitting needles that were quite interesting. Those were a set that I actually did. I end up selling them. I think I sold them, and it was kind of like I think the name was Beehive, and they come in like I think they were plastic. But they were coloured plastic. So, like the ones I had were, I think, pink with, were they like black on the end? And they weren't like worth loads and loads of money, but they held some value. So it's always worth checking. Anyway, I'm gonna move the camera. Oops, there goes my light. Don't fall, it's going to fall. Of course it's going to fall because it's not stable. Right, okay. So I am I collect buttons too. Did you hear about the button warehouse that was closing down in Adscombe, Croydon? No, I didn't. And I used to live we used to live in Croydon as well, so I know where Addiscombe is. But no, I didn't. That would have been good. I'm really interested in buttons. I love buttons. Anyway, but, right, I'm gonna go. Now that you all know how much I love buttons, because I want to go and chill out for the evening. I see whether Zahir wants to stream or not, and like I said, I've got to get up for work like mega early tomorrow, so I need to go get some sleep as well. So thank you to everyone that's joined me this evening. Really appreciate it. And some lovely ladies were getting them off a skip. Wow, really. I suppose like people don't really value them, do they? I mean, even at car boots and things like that, you see, loads of people like just bundling up buttons and selling them for like not much money at all. But there's some really cool ones. I've got some really cool ones downstairs, and I told Zahir that I wanted to resell them, but I really don't. That's how I get away with buying more buttons. Anyway, don't tell him that. Alright, I'm really going to go this time. So thank you to everyone for joining me this evening. Really appreciate it. I will be back on Saturday evening at 7:30 for another knitting stream. So hopefully I will see you then if you can join me. But if not, I hope you all have a good week, and I'll see you next time. Bye! Now I've got to end it and find the button.